All right, ladies and gentlemen, today, welcome to the Camp podcast. Today we have a special guest, Anwar Newton. Stand-up comedian, weekly shows. Talk a little bit about what you got going on first, and then we'll start.
So, yeah, I mean, currently I'm doing a couple of shows. I'm doing a new show called The Uncle Show, where me and comedian Aaron Edwards, we cosplay as old black uncles trying to learn something about the world.
Hell
We've been doing it at Valley Bar every couple months. Doing a web series called Call and Response.
Dude, I saw clips of that, and so Call and Response, it's you and
Michael Turner.
And you and Michael Turner used to do
This Week Sucks Tonight. Yeah, which is our little baby, our little gem.
I saw a couple clips of that. It was really funny.
Yeah, it's great, dude. But like the Call and Response, so you guys are ambulance EMTs? Or?
EMTs, paramedics. I mean, I don't know the real difference between EMTs and paramedics, but there is one. But
yeah.
But if you don't know, it's one of those two, and we're just like, it's a workplace comedy.
Yeah, man, it gave me like Super Trooper vibes, like buddies. Like one is just like ridiculously dumb, and the other one is just like finding ways to deal with them. And you kind of like people, like, especially like with workplace and in comedy and stuff. I feel like there's so many ways to go with that because work is the only place where you're like forced to be around people as an adult, where you're just like, me and this guy have to get along because we have to sit in this fucking car together. And like there's so many.
Wait, why'd you roll your eyes and look at Stevie when he said that?
That's harsh, dude. Harsh.
I'm just kidding.
You guys, work is the only place where you're forced to be friends with a moron. Like Stevie.
But I like when I'm at dinner or something. I love playing that game at dinner where you're like, how the fuck do these people know each other?
Yeah,
but then I'm like with my real friends, and I'm just like, people got to be asking the same question because I've got like a 6'4" like handsome jock, and then 7 bald guys.
That's drugs.
And then me.
That's drugs. They're thinking drugs.
Yeah, they're drugs.
They're like,
these guys smoked weed.
This is a drug situation. They met at a festival. And now they're trying to continue a friendship, which really should have stopped.
Yeah, it should have.
Now they're here at a pizza parlor.
But there's one thing that holds us all together. It's drugs.
Yes, it is true. Some of my realest friends are the ones I got wild with, and when I was fucking going to EDM festivals, dude, doing acid and Molly.
Yeah.
And now I've been to their weddings.
Yeah.
Like people you shouldn't know your whole life, and you're like, I would die for this dude.
Yeah, I saw you eat a stranger's asshole.
He watched me look into the darkness. He stayed with me. That's what drug homies are. I was at the edge of the cliff. You know who's by my side? This motherfucker, dude. I will stand with him till I die.
There is a certain bond that comes with going through some crazy times with your friends.
Yes,
dude, or like,
absolutely.
dude, there was this like one age, I forget what age we were at, but it's just like every like slutty drug girl that we knew from like high school became a teacher. And you're like, and they were like, there was this like hangover time where they were new to teaching, and they were still like
partying,
just loving cocaine every night. And we're like, bro, this is interesting.
Dude, I think the most druggingest, drinkingest professions are teachers, nurses, and lawyers. Those are the three.
Yeah,
I used to be
high stress jobs.
Yeah, well, like they're also 3 jobs where naive people get involved and they realize they can't make the change that they thought they could.
Yeah.
So then they start fucking drinking and coke. Teachers try to get into change teaching. They realize there's no money. Nurses get in to try to help people, and they realize all the fucking pharmaceutical back end of that. And lawyers realize no one here is to help anyone. We're just here to make money.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, there's no law to be like, no, we're buying Ferraris, dude.
Yeah.
We weren't good at anything else. So
that's interesting.
lawyers.
Those are all very similar because it's like you're entering this system that is so corrupt,
and they're so jaded. They become so jaded by it after a while.
Well, and also you're spending so many fucking hours making a shitload of money for most of them except for teachers. We all know that. Yeah. But like they're all a doctor, they're working so fucking much and they're making so much money, but they never get time to like spend any time with it. So it's like you have one day a fucking month. What are you realistically going to do? Is you're gonna go fucking insane.
One of my least favorite jobs I ever had was when we lived in Orange County when we were in our early 20s. I worked at Guitar Center in Huntington Beach for a few months, and there was this very, very wealthy surgeon, this like Armenian dude that would come in. And I will never forget this. He came in one day, and I was working in the back by myself, and he grabs me. He's like, "Hey, man, I just like want to buy something really expensive. I was like, that's what he said. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, what's
That's
the
cocaine,
most?
baby.
He's like, what's the most
That is
expensive?
coke all day.
He goes, what's the most expensive guitar you guys have? And so I take him into the guitar room. There's like this treated, wood, like cooled, you know what I'm saying, room with the acoustic guitars. And I can't remember how much the guitar was. I think it was like
Lie.
It was like 10 to 12 grand or something. It was stupid. It was a lot of money.
Yeah,
he just picks it off the wall. He's like, this one? He doesn't
Dude,
know how
what
to
a
play guitar.
fucking loser. Because he could do that somewhere with like where there's like hot women around or something. But he just wanted to impress like a poor 18-year-old guy.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Or was he taking that expensive guitar back home to learn a song off YouTube and impress the next girl he brings over?
That's true.
So I don't know.
I would hope if you were
hero, baby.
But yeah, he had no time. He's just
within
like,
2 hours he knew that
like,
one.
Oh, I'm gonna go fucking buy like
some really rich
dumb,
shit would have been
shit.
if he bought that and then smashed it in front of your eyes and
Yeah.
then left. That would have been some rich shit.
He's like, hey,
He's like, I'm only fucking with you. That's how much money I have. I'm gonna make you remember this forever. You're gonna tell it on a podcast. You're gonna sit with two other dudes at a round table and you're gonna retell this story. And that was worth $15,000.
And you got paid.
he looks you in your eye and he just goes, hey, do you have to clean up all the messes here on your own? And you go, yeah, I do. And he just smashes it.
And he's like, I want to watch you pick every shard up.
Yeah, it's like, put them back together now.
I'll never forget
Put them
that,
back
dude.
together.
It was so funny.
Oh my goodness, man.
Dude, I mean, we lived in California, so we wanted to progress our band, and I just did drugs every single night, and it was not good. But like, I remember I worked at this roller derby warehouse, and we had gone out to this club. All of our friends were these like millionaire drug dealer kids, and so we were like, I was out all night, fucking giant fucking house on the beach. Go to this club, 20 bottles. I'm doing fucking research chemicals that they like ordered online, like crazy shit. I fall on this like champagne flute. It stabs in my side.
Damn.
I go to the fucking hospital, get like a shitload of stitches. It's like I wake up the next morning and I'm like, somebody fucking stabbed me last night. Like, I don't know what happened. But and then I remember just like 2 days later, I was back in this roller derby warehouse. I'm like, I'm so fucking poor, but I live these two lives where I like mooch off my friends and do all these crazy shit.
Nice.
And I go back to like my 2-bedroom apartment where I'm sharing a room with another guy. And then I go to this roller derby warehouse.
Have you always been living in Arizona?
No.
So where are you from?
I grew up in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Baltimore. But I've been living here for 15 years.
Okay, cool.
I tell people I'm from here.
Yeah. I mean, if you've been here for 15 years.
Yeah, I'm from here, dude.
Yeah.
I started comedy here, so it's just like I'm from here, which sucks to say sometimes.
So how did that start? Like, why did you start doing comedy?
I was bored.
Yeah.
I never like had a passion for fucking doing comedy. You hear about some comedians, they're like, I always wanted to tell jokes when I was 8, 9 years old. I looked at the stage and I wanted to do that. That's crazy to me. You didn't want to be fucking Batman, dog. You wanted to do that? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Well, you know what I wanted to be when I was 8? Wolverine, nigga. I fucking put knives in my hands, dude.
It's not too late.
I was like, scientifically, this might be legit when I'm 21. I could be Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he's talking about comedians. I never thought about doing this shit.
So
I started doing it, I was like 28.
Did friends start telling you like, yo, you're funny? You should.
I mean, you hear that shit enough. I heard it in workplaces, and I was like, maybe I am funny.
You start to believe it, huh?
Like, maybe I am that guy.
It's like that American Idol where they're like, my friends all love my voice. They're like, no, they fucking don't. Like,
dude, I was like, I might be that guy. And so I started going to open mics, dude. And then
what was the first one like? The first open mic.
Terrifying.
The first one I did was horrifying.
Were you fucking terrified?
I don't even remember what I said. I was so scared, dude.
Thinking about even doing that shit still makes
scared.
me scared because like I know what it's like going on stage, even just like the pre-show nerves.
Yeah.
I don't really get nervous anymore before shows, but I'm also playing drums and I'm not relying on just a microphone to like get a whole room.
Right. When I get on stage,
comedy's terrifying.
You're
bro.
standing behind something you're really, really good at, and you know you're really good at,
Yeah.
and it's like, and that speaks for itself. And so to go out with nothing to hold you
But
back.
sometimes do you get up there and you're like, maybe I'm not that good at this tonight. That's like
But that happens to us too.
But I'll
Yeah,
just be,
like, you
I'll be
get in your
thinking
head.
about like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna eat after the show, and I'm just like playing a fucking Red Rocks.
That's-
Just like, you know,
But I would assume that when you're doing comedy, you can't afford to even go there if you're going to have a good set. Because if you start having
you'll fuck
internal,
yourself
if
up,
you start
man.
having internal negative self-talk while you're trying to be funny,
It's too
it can't,
much.
right?
Yeah, you really
So like,
fuck
you're either
yourself
in
up.
or you're out, right?
I believe that. I mean, I knew comedians that were like that up until they weren't here anymore. Like R.I.P. to Brody Stevens. I fucking love Brody.
Dude.
He's one of my
Oh,
favorite
wow.
comedians. Well, I still say one of his specials he did at the Comedy Store is one of my favorite comedy specials of all time. It's a comedy special of him doing the OR at the Comedy Store.
okay.
And he's bombing.
Yeah. I
He's
mean,
not doing well. He's bombing. It's a comedy special. He's bombing on stage. People are leaving the room. He's yelling at them, and this is all on tape.
he would do it on purpose. He would just like try
Yeah,
to walk as
dude.
many people as he could.
And then like the Adam Egget, who's now at the Comedy Mothership in Austin, who used to help run Comedy Store, he comes on over the intercom. One of the stage people comes on over the intercom and he goes, "Adam says you need to wrap it up, Brody." They announced over
the
speaker
speaker.
during his special that the manager said this is over. He's like, and Brody goes, "This is my big night."
Bro, so my friends, they all fucking hate me because I got really into Brody Stevens at the same time I got really into cocaine. And so it was like,
that's the same energy too.
I would be like, yep, you got it.
You enjoy it.
Yeah,
818.
It was a nightmare.
I say negative energy. That's something I took from Brody, and I still say it on stage. Like Brody would just accost you if you look like you were having a bad time,
Dude.
and he would say "folded arms, negative energy." I say that on stage now. I took that from Brody because I fucking love that so much. It's a great way to get like a audience to realize that you're being dumb. This is stupid. What we're at. We wasted our time tonight, and you want to be impressed. Negative energy, folded arms. I don't want it here.
I have a really good friend that went to some comedy festival in like LA or something, and Brody was there, and we were all huge fans of Brody, and because we just knew how fucking ridiculous he was to just
dude.
go that hard. But my friend is like one of the only people that he ends up calling out the entire night, and he's like, dude, it was not funny. It was sucked. Like, and we were fans, and he's just like, it was brutal and uncomfortable, and everybody was uncomfortable,
Those are
and
my
nobody
favorite
was
comedians.
laughing. And he's like, I just left. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
I had to.
Good.
It's
That means
like,
it was
he
a
wouldn't
great
stop.
night, dude.
That's so funny.
That's how you know it was a great night. Is one person's night was ruined by it. That's a great night of comedy. If one person's night wasn't ruined by that comedian, it wasn't a good night of comedy.
Yeah.
Everyone liked what you did up here. That's boring, dude. I never want to be in that room. Like, I love Kevin Hart. And shout outs to Fluffy and all those fucking arena comedians. But if everybody in that room loves you, this is a dull ass night, dude. I need someone to walk away upset. Now, I'm not saying like intentionally try to upset people, but if you're doing comedy the right way, someone hates what you're saying.
Right.
That's the comedy I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
me too.
somebody hates what you're doing up here and you're just being you.
It seems to be why the whole like Austin scene of comedy with the Comedy Mothership and all that, they seem to like, that's like the,
Well, that's the new most famous comedy club in the country.
and that's like that's like the North Star of like what they're trying to achieve there is like,
Oh, they've achieved it.
We say whatever we want, and
They
like we
did it,
want
dude.
like they get that like people are going to be offended by good comedy.
Yeah. I mean, say what you will about Joe Rogan. I mean, he's one of the few people.
I love Joe Rogan.
I was gonna say, don't
he's
say,
one of-
say what you will. He's gonna say.
I've been listening to Joe Rogan for years, and I think he's a shit. So
I don't give a fuck about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's not like a negative thing. I genuinely don't think about him, right? I
Yeah.
don't listen to him. I don't have anything against anyone who does. I don't think about Joe Rogan, with the exception of what he's done with the Comedy Mothership.
it's pretty wild.
Like, that's
yeah.
a dude that's been in comedy for as long as any other legendary person, saw how horrible comedy clubs are and how much we have to slog and eat shit as comedians just trying to make a living off of this professionally.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few people who decided to change it. So he opened a Comedy Mothership, a premier comedy club. He doesn't take any profits from the club.
He pays his
He
people
pays
like a lot.
not
right?
only Steb, but he pays comedians. That's why comedians move to Austin, because they can live off of just a couple of sets at the Mothership, which is what it should be. When you've been doing comedy 10, 12 years professionally, you're good enough to tour and be around the country. Right. Like, why can't you make enough money off a couple of performances? You guys do that, you know? Yeah. As a musicians, you get one show and you're like, okay, we got a nice little come up.
You get a big festival show. It's like,
I got some money in my pocket. You know, comedians literally never have that unless you like fucking go tour and eat shit on the road. So these comedians are able to make Austin their home base because now they can make money off the club and fund actually getting out there and starting their careers by touring and doing more shows, which is impossible.
It's changing people's lives to have that club there.
Same as like Kill Tony. Like before this all started, we were talking about how, you know, me and Stravs are huge fans of Kill Tony.
Yeah, I fucking love Tony.
It's just like a cool vibe of. It's a brilliant concept because he's making money by having a sold out show every week forever.
They start doing arenas too, man.
They're doing fucking arenas now. But it's like to also just have the excitement of seeing somebody do stand up for the first time and they all just lose their shit. Especially in the arena, they're like, every single person is just like too nervous to fucking perform. And you're like, it's good when they're bad. It's good when they're good. It's kind of like a brilliant fucking concept. But the way he's launched all these different people's careers, it's like Cam Patterson and David Lucas, Montgomery.
Like they're able to come out here and perform, you know?
Sold out, dude.
It
was fucking packed.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. It seems to be like this whole new era of like, I don't know, an explosion of like comedy rock stars, which is like kind of wild.
A lot of people can make it happen themselves. Like that's like Instagram and TikTok and you know, putting comedy videos up. People are able to get out there like that, but some people are able to get out there in other avenues too. Like social media sucks to deal with on a regular basis. Some people just don't want to engage with it, but they're really talented people, you know? So you get your like David Lucas's and Cam Patterson's who I wouldn't say they're social media comedians. They've been able to get their shit off on Kill Tony and start their careers. I fucking hate social media.
Yeah,
I hate that I have to engage with it.
Right, it's the kind of dirty part.
I hate that.
I've had it off my phone for the past few weeks. I put Instagram back on my phone this morning.
I hate that.
I'm dipping my feet back in the water.
Dude,
but like,
I'll do Instagram just to put shit on the stories because it's like I feel like I'm talking to my homies and I'm posting the stupidest shit possible, and then it's gone forever because I don't want to see it forever.
But as somebody in entertainment, you literally have to. You can't not have.
You have to. Like I hate that I have to engage with it to have a career. Like,
yeah, you literally do that. I've got a theory though that I think like because from just what I've seen, I don't go to a ton of comedy shows, but I've been a huge like comedy fan my whole life, and just seeing like now at comedy shows, there's so much more heckling and
because of
crowd talking because every video is crowd work video where people are like they think that's what it is it's like ruining kind of some of the shows where I know now it's just maybe that's how it is, but when you're there, you're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Let this dude tell a joke.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand what it's like to be at any show. People are fucking dumb, dude.
Yeah. When we went to the Cam Patterson, David Lucas show, there was a guy in the corner doing that the whole time.
Yeah, he was like trying to punch up their jokes. It's like, bro, you are not funny.
And that's like because he does that on Kill Tony every once in a while. He gets to jump in and say something like, "Oh, you must love experiencing this." It's like, no, I don't, dude. Because I've seen you do it in an act that you call an act. This must be what you love all the time. It's like, what? I'm a human being, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
and it's weird.
What was your like first experience with like a bad heckle situation?
I can't remember my first one. I've had some bad ones.
Like what are some that stick out?
Or even just like fully brutal shows. Because we got a million of those too.
I don't think I've had any brutal. The only one is I kicked these two black ladies, and I hate having to say this. Black ladies, I love you. If you listen to this podcast.
Oh, dude, we actually have. It's predominantly
black.
It's predominantly black older women that listen to the Cant podcast.
Grannies and aunties.
Yeah. I know it doesn't look like that to you, probably. But
the other 10% is just ginger males.
They're all trying to get with the black women.
They got baggy jeans on and fades.
Trying to make a bunch of redheaded black people. There's eugenics at work.
Welcome to camp, baby.
What was I even fucking saying? Oh, the two black ladies I kicked out. I hate that I had to do it because we were fucking having fun the whole night and people were getting up there. And this was a show where we welcome people to say whatever they want, right? So people go up there making fun of white people, Asian people. They're making fun of everybody. And then the first black show that came up, they got upset. I was like, whoa, we've been in here for a whole 30 minutes. You've been laughing at every race joke that's been out here. And as soon as someone says something about black lady, you want to ruin my show? And I try to appeal to their blackness. It was so sad, right? I was like, this is my show, and I'm black. and I think that just made me look worse to them. Like, yeah, you should fucking stop them from doing this. And I was like, please leave. But I didn't say it that night. I was like, security, get these motherfuckers. And they were cursing at me all the way to the front door. And then you can still see them from the street. So we tried to ignore them cursing into the doorway for the rest of the show. It was ruined. It was ruined. That was the worst heckler one, I think.
Have you done much like touring?
I've done the coast, you know. I've done the leftist cities.
Yeah.
I go where I've been invited. I did Lima, Ohio, which was very fun.
Wow. Oh, sick.
The little rural. That's where Phyllis Diller was born. I don't know if you guys know Phyllis Diller. Legendary old comedian. She's dead now. She was in the Frankenstein movie?
Oh, so
Wasn't
she's
that Phyllis Diller?
Oh, wow. So she's fucking hot.
old. Like the one with Gene. What is his fucking name? Willy Wonka. Well, Willy Wonka.
Gene Wilder.
Gene
Wilder. Yeah.
Simmons.
Gene Simmons, tongue of Frankenstein.
What are some of your favorite rooms you've done on the coast? Off the top.
Off the top, actually, there's none that would jump out at me.
Okay,
there's none where I'm like, I fucking love this room.
I was just curious because like we've probably been in like quite a few of the same venues.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because like comedy clubs and music venues don't really switch over until it's like theaters, I think.
I don't know. Like
I've been to comedy shows.
Well,
like
here I've done music venues here. I haven't done music venues in any other state.
Oh, word. Okay, cool.
They'll be like small, like fucking black box.
I guess you're right. Like stand up live, like people don't go there to see music or downtown like Copper Blues type stuff. You know what I mean?
Like the Valley Bars, the Crescent Ballrooms, where there is music, and they were for a time like welcoming in a variety of shows. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
they don't do that anymore. Crescent Ballroom has changed, dog. Love that place, but they used to do all types of wild ass shows.
Did it change about 3 or 4 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah, that's weird.
Actually, I think it started just around like the programming changed just before the pandemic, but then the pandemic just killed live shows altogether. You know what I mean?
Well, also, that venue got bought out by Live Nation.
Yeah.
So
I think
was a while
Van
ago.
Buren was. Did the Crescent get bought out too?
Van Buren too, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Well, Van Buren was for sure. I think Crescent they might have been holding on to, but
Van Buren for sure.
Also, for the record, we love both venues.
Yeah, I fucking love everybody there. I worked it there.
Yeah.
I worked there, dude. I worked the door Crescent Bar before I started comedy. There's people I work with.
That's why you look familiar, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I think that's why
I fucking worked your shows. Absolutely.
I remember seeing you. I think I remember seeing you there.
Yeah, I worked there. So I wanted to. That was the first place I ever sold out a huge show. I fucking love Crescent, but they used to do way cooler shows.
Yeah.
And now you hardly see anything there, which is a shame. Because
it's a little bit of a weird vibe for comedy because the seating is like you got to walk over like 40 people to get to the bar, you go to the bathroom. You're just like you're like this. Yeah. I saw Kyle Kinane there, and I was like, bro.
Oh yeah,
I gotta piss. So
the seats are smashed together. It's not even enjoyable.
I had some big. I mean, Kyle Kinane. You know the crowd. It's some bigger white gentlemen that are next to me. Bigger white women. A lot of beards in there. Men and women, and you're just sitting there.
His audience is people whose diet consists of microwave food.
Yeah, something that's called like the bomb that they ate. Are we having the bomb again for dinner?
It's bomb every night here, folks.
Dude, my favorite new
meme. The morning is Jimmy Dean.
Yeah, it's just men's names. It's like we're gonna drink some Josh after. There's some Josh with the Jimmy Dean sausage.
Some Jimmy Walker. Yeah. A lot of Jim coming through my pipes.
Yeah, Sammy Hagar's.
I love Jim in my throat.
Have you been out in Austin?
I've been a couple of times. I went out there to JT Haberstat's Altercation Comedy Festival, but that's before it became sets? Well, it was before Austin became Austin.
Oh, okay.
Which is like the new comedy scene.
I mean, it's only been like 2 years, right? That is. I mean, I know it's been lasting like.
I think it started like around the time of the pandemic, right?
Is that helping make comedy bigger out here?
Oh,
you think?
Yeah. A lot of comedians have left the city to go to Austin.
Okay.
Whereas that used to be, the old way to make it was through New York or LA.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of the whole music thing too.
You got to go through New York, LA eventually, and now you can make it in Austin, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you could be like, unless you want to do like a show and get into making a show, you can like become a theater or arena comic through Austin, Texas. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's wild.
Do you personally know any comedians that have kind of like popped off with just like a viral clip?
Oh yeah, I know.
Or most of them making it through doing the hard work of like just doing sets and doing like.
I know both of them, man.
Both?
Yeah, I've been doing stand up.
It's interesting how that can happen. Like for instance, we have a band that we're friends with. These guys we're friends with. They literally quit like 6 years ago. They're just like, all right, we're not gonna do this anymore. And then one of their songs that they made 6 years ago blew up last year off TikTok.
Oh really?
And now they have 15 million monthly listeners on their Spotify.
Who is it? What song is this?
They're called Beach Weather.
Beach Weather.
And the song is called Sex, Drugs, Etc.
Sex, drug. What did Gen Z just pick? It's like a vibe song.
It's just like a it's like a hazy, vibey indie rock song. It's not even a song to where you'd hear it and you'd be like, oh, this is like a mega hit.
It's like how Pine Grove's Need To just popped off recently.
Yeah, and so like
that song was like what 10 years ago.
And we're homies with these dudes. Like the singer in the band, he did the artwork for 2 of our last albums.
Okay.
And anyways, yeah, they like literally like 5 or 6 years ago, like, oh, we're not doing this anymore. Everyone started doing their own thing, and then this song popped off. So the band got back together, and now, and then they literally like last year they did a festival with the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Queens of the Stone Age. They're doing like. Dude, yeah, they got like, you know, these huge. They played Lollapalooza. They played, yeah, dude. They were getting like crazy offers.
They were like
and
number one on pop radio.
Tell me a 6-year-old song got me to tour Red Hot Chili Peppers. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So they got, you know, it just because of the internet, which we like to talk so much shit on.
I hate the internet, but
it's like what Ryan was saying. It's like when you're an artist, like, it can make or break you in some sense. Our band, I think, has been way more of the like doing the groundwork, like really just playing shows, years of touring, all that stuff. That's where most of our fans come from. Most of our fans come from people that have seen us play at our live show, like opening for Iration or Dirty Heads or, you know, these bands. So like, but it's a combination of both, because some stuff we've also gotten some cool placements, like, you know, we got like on the Outer Banks Netflix show.
Really?
We just got placed in this new animated series with like Woody Nelson and Pete Davidson. Woody
Nelson. I was like, I don't know this guy. I wonder if all the Woodies know each other in Hollywood.
Woody Harrelson and Pete Davidson and shit. But
really?
But those things, like, I don't know.
I've never seen that happen. I've never seen like a 6-year-old.
That's what I'm asking.
Piece of like body of work like take off. That's a music thing for sure.
Yeah, because you have to be actively.
Ever happen in comedy.
Yeah,
comedy is very current. It's like it's very rarely timeless. Like a lot of comedians want to be timeless, but it's very hard because, especially to people's attention spans now, it's very like current microwave. Like, if it's not happening now, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So now comedy is very current. There's very few people who are writing timeless bits. That's why crowd work is so popular now, because it's happening immediately.
Right, yeah.
You know, no one's writing a joke that you're going to hear 10 years later and be like, damn, this joke still resonates today through crowd work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because if you watch comedy from a long time ago, it's like, it's hard to even connect with it.
But there's jokes that still smash. Like jokes written 20 years ago. Like one of my favorite... a comedian that's on my like what is the Mount Rushmore comedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Norm Macdonald.
Dude, mine too. I swear
R.I.P. One of the greatest joke
favorite
writers of all time. He has jokes you listen to now and you're like, these jokes will be forever until there's a dystopian future. These are timeless jokes.
Yeah.
There's jokes about alcoholism and cancer, like things we're gonna experience. But then you're like, dude, you're like, this is the funniest joke because I get it, right? Whereas crowd work is like, I just found out who this person's dating and what their job is. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this information beyond that, but I guess it was fun for I forgot about it. I'm not gonna retell that to anyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tell the homie, you gotta see where they discovered this lady worked at this comedy. Why would I go tell a friend, hey guys, I was watching this comedy clip. They found out that this dude was in a relationship with his girl for only 3 months. You gotta go watch this thing. Like, I'm not fucking telling anybody about that shit.
Right.
Norm Macdonald, I fucking play that for anyone who's got an hour. I'm like, sit down, listen to this.
Dude, there's endless, especially because like when he had his show and he would write like the worst jokes ever on the cards and make people read it. Dude, it's just, there's so many fucking amazing clips, like 9/11 Airlines.
That's my favorite clip. That's if you like that, then you're a different type of comedy motherfucker, because you can't show that to everybody.
No,
right?
yeah.
You got to show it to someone. You just got to be cool. So it's got to be cool. You be like, you got to test them a little bit. Like, you seem cool. Watch this Norm Macdonald clip.
One of his other classic ones was like the Las Vegas is like what happens here stays here. It's like it means our hookers are not like these blabbermouths you guys got in Dayton, Ohio. Dude, he was the absolute best. I actually found it was yesterday. I watched it was an 1.5-hour video of one of his. It wasn't a video. It was audio only, but it was 1.5 hours of his, like one of his last stand-up specials, or not specials, one of his last live ones.
I think
and
he
so
released that as a. Did he release that as a
no,
special?
so he did that Zoom special on Netflix.
I never even
and it was
seen that.
You didn't see. Yeah, it's really weird because there's no laughter, and you could tell he's like, now looking back, you can tell he was really sick. Like at the time, you're just kind of like, what,
right.
you know?
How'd he
you wouldn't
die
know.
again?
Cancer, yeah.
You could tell now. I met him once after a show. We were doing This Week Sucks Tonight.
Wow.
Before or after we were doing after Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
So we got in a green room just as he was finishing his show, and like
Where? What?
At Stand Up Live.
Oh, sick.
So that show is directly inspired by Norm Macdonald's Weekend Update.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
sick.
just saying, like Norm Macdonald would say the joke because it was the joke. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, this is the joke. What else are we going to say here to the story? And was definitely an inspiration for us. It's like we would deal with every ugly story. It's like, this is the joke. You guys know it's the joke. Here it is. We're making the joke. And that was like, people really grasped onto that. It was like, yes, like they're saying it, you know? So we got in there to do our show, and Norm was there. And you could tell he was sick then. He was very skinny, but, you know, I'm this Norm Macdonald. I'm not looking at anything other than his face. Like, holy fuck,
yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to walk up to him like,
I'm like,
what's
you're
wrong?
not doing so well, Norm. You don't look like the pictures I've seen on Google image search.
It's not the Getty image.
I pull out my phone. I remember you looking like this. Norm, what's going on? No, I was like, I wanted to hug him. I was like, this is Norm fucking Macdonald. And we were like in suits because we go on stage in suits, so we're dressed like fucking losers. Yeah. And we're at Norm Macdonald. And Norm, we're from you. And he's just like, good job, fellas. I can't wait to see the show. And we're just like, you're one of our biggest inspirations.
Were you nervous?
We look like fucking car salesmen, dude. We're like sweaty. I've got a laptop. I got a stupid haircut. That's when I wore the high top fade, so I look like fucking a fat MC Hammer. And I'm in front of Norm Macdonald. Like, I'm here because of you.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
That's
but
sick.
I met him, and I got to tell him that he influenced my comedy. And yeah, he wasn't doing well.
Yeah, man.
And I think he died maybe 1.5 to 2 years after that.
That's so cool.
He was
you got
the
to meet
absolute best, dude.
Yeah.
He's like my. I love Louis C.K.
I love Louis.
But Norm's like my number one, and then like Chappelle, I think, is one of the greatest speakers like ever to live.
I used to love Chappelle.
Hope he writes books.
I think he's gotten boring, but I used to love Chappelle. Chappelle used to be my number one.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's gotten so boring. I miss the Chappelle that put Redman on a jet ski in a toilet.
Yeah.
Where's that Chappelle at? That's the Chappelle I knew in high school.
Killing him softly is like.
Yeah, what happened to Chappelle that farted so hard he blew up a toilet and went into space? Is that not the Chappelle we used to love?
I had in high school, I had the Chappelle Show box set.
Yeah, dude, that's
And
the
I would
Chappelle
watch
I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Where I mean, it's cool that you showing people what you got to say now, but I would love it if you made a batch of doo-doo butter dressed up as R. Kelly, because that's who I fell in love with, dude. I don't know what you're talking about, but I remember that video. I'ma pee on you. That was fun.
Dude, the Chappelle Show is...
It's classic.
Yeah,
It's epic, dude.
That first stand-up
so
special
good.
he did, it was Killing Him Softly, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
the one where he's like just the Ja Rule bit.
Yeah,
I think that's
he's
the one.
super skinny
In
and
DC.
yeah, DC. Everybody's like kicking with their hands.
Yeah, remember when he just got like buff out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was
he went
weird.
to Ohio. He had nothing else to do, man.
I feel like there's like a level of buffness you're allowed to get when you're in entertainment.
It's weird. Like Timbaland and was Dr. Dre got really buff at the same time. Remember
that?
They were
I've been seeing that.
Is this what all producers are going to do now? They got really swole. I was like, I guess producers are swole now.
Carrot Top got fucking. You're just like
that was crazy.
That was insane.
That was the only person I felt like needed to get buff because I'm sure he was sick of people making fun of him. He went through it for like a good stretch of time,
dude.
And like you go back and. I used to make fun of Carrot Top as a kid. I didn't know why. We just made fun of him, right? And then you go back and watch his like specials or anything you can. They're like great prop jokes.
They legitimately clever.
You're like, and then he before you even have time to realize what you just saw, he's got the next one.
Yeah,
it's like a magic act, dude.
Isn't he known to be like insanely hardworking though?
Yeah, I think so. He was like he worked hard. He
works
especially
hard
now.
Like 100 shows a year or some shit, like insane numbers.
He sells out a fucking like, he does his like Vegas show in like a much more massive place than most people do their Vegas shows, and he sells it out every single night.
Yeah,
he's earned his thing, and also to be able to just power through like being literally the butt of every joke for like 30 years. Norm has a bit where he's talking about he's on some I think it's Conan or something, and the actress from is it like Leader of the Board or something? There's some movie that Carrot Top was in with her, and Norm's just destroying him because Carrot Top's in it. He's like, I'm sure they spelled board B-O-R-E-D. Like he's like, it was just like ridiculous, but so good. He's like, oh, Carrot Top's in it. You know, they call that like blockbuster cancer or box office. It was just like so. Like I'm butchering it, but it's just he's always been the joke. Every like Family Guy episode would have him and stuff, and he's like, he fucking has a plane. He's doing fine, you know.
I think he got swole just to fight people in case they tried him. You know what I mean? Because you can only take jokes for so long. If you're like, all right, man, you come to me, I'm actually knock you the fuck out. That'd be hilarious that you got knocked out by Carrot Top. That's a wild story for you, and I'll get that to you. So I think Carrot Top had that energy, but I don't think I keep people around me, and I wouldn't want to keep a person around me that, if offered the chance to see Carrot Top live, would say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think I want to have those people in my family or my friends. I feel like if someone said, hey, they want us to go see Carrot Top, we'd be like, we should fucking go, dude.
For sure.
Carrot Top? Let's fucking go.
Have you ever been to like a Vegas show?
No.
I've never been either.
I want to go, man. The Vegas Sphere. I'm waiting for the right act to go see something there. When
I saw Blink-182 in Vegas once.
In the Sphere?
No, in like
dude.
a big ass. I don't know. It was on the Strip.
But I'm talking about like those like they have fucking circus actors do, and they like comedians
like the big for sure.
Yeah, residencies. Yeah.
When I went to Vegas, the only time I went to Vegas was on some punk shit, like in my 20s. So we weren't there to go see Vegas shows. We were trying our hardest to be 86 from a casino.
Yeah.
And we realized it takes a lot for them to kick you out forever. We like stripped down to just our underwear. We're like running around the lobby, like humping slot machines.
Yeah, that's not enough, dude.
They're like, this is nothing.
That's mild behavior.
Like, good Lord.
You need like some biological
as a 26-year-old where you're just like, God, we're working our hardest.
What do I
know? You know what you need to get kicked out is autism. If you're just that good at reading cards, they'll get you right out of there. You'll never come back.
Have autism.
You can get naked. Out. But if you have autism and you're good at gambling, they fucking get you the fuck out of there.
That's funny. They have a jar of jelly beans at the entrance of every casino.
It's like if you can
guess it, you cannot come in, dude.
It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
They make every person guess on the way.
You have to write it down, dude.
Yeah.
You cannot have unlimited drinks till you write down how many jelly beans is in this jar.
Yeah.
And you put it in.
Like, you know those cameras that they got for like taking your fucking temperature? It just like tracks if your eyes are counting the squares on the ceiling.
Watching their eyes get red hot on the thermal. Yeah. His eyes are going cyclops of autism in here.
He's got something fucking brewing in there.
Out of here. He's going to be the autistic X-Men in here. We'll lose everything.
Autistic
I like the idea of like executives just see like the severely autistic man run in and they're just like fucking calling the wife, selling all their stocks.
Oh my God.
They're like, we're going to lose a boat.
You see someone walk in a trench coat holding a sword because they love the medieval times too much. You will not make any money here, my liege.
That's how you get kicked out, my friend.
That's amazing, dude. So only thing that keeps you 86 for a casino in Vegas is autism. Holy fuck, man. That's funny as hell. Are you doing comedy? No. That's the funniest thing I've heard all year. In the 31 days of this year, is funniest thing.
Oh, yeah.
You need to write that one down for your someday stand up.
Yeah, I've got a lot of see, I've always been a big fan, but I've always been so afraid of it that I'm just like, I'll just be a fan. But now I've got so much time, I'm just like, dude, it looks fun. But
no, you're doing it the right way. Being the funny person in the band is way more fun than being the funniest person of your friend group.
Right.
Like one of my favorite bands to go see live is Electric Six.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
I fucking love, because the fucking front man, what is his name? Danny
what was
Valentine
that song?
or some shit.
Fire in the disco.
Fire in the disco. Gay bar.
Fire in the Taco Bell.
Dude, you go see him live. He's hilarious as a front man. I love a funny ass front man, dude. That's fun. I don't like a front man that takes too much time up between the songs, but like a funny front man that keeps some funny, hilarious humor in between songs is just great.
Mm-hmm. Whitmer Thomas. Have you seen any of his stuff? He's pretty funny.
He's funny.
I haven't
Is he
even
in a band?
heard his music. Yeah, he travels doing music and that.
Really?
And he's just like always ripping on other musicians that he's friends with.
I've seen only a few things from him, and I was like, "Oh, this dude's funny."
Yeah,
I don't think I was like, "Whoa, this dude's hilarious." Not no fucking shade, but I remember seeing. I'm like, "Oh, this dude is very funny." And to know he's doing music, that's insane.
That was one thing. That was one of Andy's biggest. The singer of our band that passed. He just was the funniest dude ever. Like he was just so funny. I mean, he wasn't so much like telling jokes on stage, but like interacting with fans after the show and stuff. Like just he was just so funny.
He was just like a master of, and he was
like
so
he
unique.
controlled the room. Like
it makes shows so much better.
Yeah,
it makes shows so much better because you can't be the funny drummer when you're gonna say you know. Like,
so,
all of a sudden you're
the
chuckling.
bassist,
I get it. I get the joke. That song was funny when he did the thing at the end.
I'm trying to think of like what the equivalent is for each instrument. The bass would definitely be the Seinfeld. The ding 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 down.
I feel like the bass player is always the butt of the joke.
Yeah,
of any band.
Yeah, that's very true.
Player. Oh, here we go.
That's for sure.
So being funny, he should just like slip on a banana peel once. That'd be great. He's like hitting a crazy solo. He's whoop.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the funniest band ever.
Dude, our singer, we were like partying a lot, and we played in Dallas one night. And the next day we were in Houston. And our singer had these like fucking Steve Madden boots that he was obsessed with, and like they're not even like nice boots, you know.
None of them are.
Yeah, but the sole was completely like flopped off, and I was like, bro, you can't wear those. Like you're gonna fucking fall. And he's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
So we go on stage. We're at the House of Blues.
Yeah, we're at the House of Blues.
It's a sold out show.
Oh wow.
He goes, we're in Houston. What up, Dallas? And we're just like,
calls Houston, Dallas.
Everybody starts booing, and I'm laughing because I'm having like a room of like 500, 600 people just booing you is like a good feeling. Yeah, it's nice. But then like Andy's like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just like, bro, you said the wrong city or said the wrong city. 10 minutes later, he turns, he goes up to the front, he's like, all right, you know, I'm sorry, and he just fucking eats shit because
he falls over my drum set.
His foot like went like this, and his boot like curled up under him, and he just completely tripped.
He ate shit, dude, and it like actually won the crowd back over. And then he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're Houston or whatever, and
if that hadn't happened, he wouldn't have won him.
No,
over.
I think
if he would have said anything, they would have gotten violent.
It would have
gotten violent. People would have started throwing things at the stage. Yeah. But because he slipped and fell, people were like, I like this guy.
Yeah, you need to bring back like the 1920s comedy. Like, it's like
the next night we were in like Dallas. So the next night we're in Dallas, and he does the same thing. He calls the next city the wrong city in Texas. He did it like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, he did them backwards. It was like he called Dallas Houston, and then he called Houston Dallas. And
what?
To his defense, it all looks the same.
Yeah, we
the
were in
venues were the same. I think they were both House of Blues.
I mean, I look Texans in the face. They all look the same to me.
Yeah,
I can't tell one Texan from another.
No.
So.
Yeah,
it's dark in there.
Yeah, G.W. Bush looks just like Slim Thug to me.
Yeah, hole is a hole, huh?
A hole is a hole, George. Let's get out of Iraq. Let's get out of here, dude. We did it. A hole is a hole, Georgie. That's fucking Cheney.
Oh, shit. Fuck, man.
Do you have shows coming up?
Or
like...
when are you guys releasing this?
We are
Couple weeks,
releasing
probably.
this. Actually, no, this will be on Monday, huh? Yeah, we'll be this Monday.
I think if you just follow me on Instagram, that's where I post most of my shit on Instagram. I'm a millennial,
Yeah.
I'm still on Instagram.
Yeah, there we go.
So if you follow me on Instagram, I post shows all the time. I'm working on new stuff, so come see me. You want to see some shit that doesn't work now, but will be funny soon.
Dude, I want to come out.
Yeah, we need to come.
I
out.
never go to stand-up shows, and like I said, I've always been a fan. But it's like we were always on tour. We'd be gone like 7-8 months out of the year, and so it was really rare to ever be able to one, see like any bands you ever like, and then I also like don't know anybody in the scene, and I'm so used to being at like. Yeah, I know it's different for comedy where you want to be in the crowd, but like for bands, like shows, I generally don't go unless I know them and I can like go hang out and drink their liquor and stuff. So. But yeah, no, I'm going to see Jesselnick in a couple days, which should be fun.
Oh yeah, Jesselnick's great, man. That's one of the few. I think he's the only person who started at like a comedy school that I know of. That's like an unstoppable comedian.
That's how he started.
He started
in Chicago or where?
If you don't know, like in the comedy world,
I didn't even know comedy schools.
There's comedy schools, man. There's comedy schools. So like it's kind of like looked down on by like purists. Like everyone, all the purists of comedy think you should go to open mic. You should eat fucking dog shit for like 3 solid years before you figure it out.
There is something to respect about that.
Yeah, there's something, but it's a very American thing. Like we feel like people have to just suffer to earn anything nice, and I hate that, but I also get it. Like I get it. You appreciate it a little bit more. So people who go to comedy schools kind of are taught by like usually an old washed up comedian, and they teach you like basic structure and things that you don't know as you're starting out and kind of figuring out your style.
Yeah.
And Jesselnick came out of that, and purists would be like, "Oh, he came out of comedy school," but he's the only comedian where you can't say shit about him. Like his shit is so good, it's airtight jokes. Like he's a classic joke writer, and it's like a magic trick every time. You're like, I don't care what he's talking about. I get that he made a joke. My brain understands the joke, whether I agree with the content or not. My brain understood why this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Jesselnick is perfect,
and he's got like his own. It's just like, all right. I like edgy comedy. I can't stand when people are just trying to be offensive and they don't get the laugh. You know what I mean? When they're just like, I'm just trying to be that guy. And
that's
like,
why
talk about,
Jesselnick
like,
doesn't let those motherfuckers open for him. So Jesselnick only lets female comedians open for him. He only likes women to open for him.
Why?
Because he used to tour around, and the people who like Jesselnick think like that.
Yeah.
They just want to say offensive. They don't understand what Jesselnick is doing, writing jokes.
Right, yeah.
So these idiots who love Jesselnick, they're just like, oh, the humor is that I'm saying the ugliest thing I could possibly. No, it's not, man. Jesselnick is doing an act, doofus.
They're missing the point.
You're missing the point of what's happening up here. So they would send out messages to him when he went in the city. They're like, can I open for you? I think I'd be great at opening for you. And he used to do that because he's a comedian. He's like, these young comedians can get a big shot from opening for me. So he let him fucking open.
Dead baby joke.
And these idiots would ruin the room.
Right.
These idiots would say the worst shit. And then he would go up and he would have to clear, the air, get the crowd back.
He'd have to like clean up.
Yeah, he's got to do clean up before he's also going to do what they're attempting to do. So now they've done
they're like degrading. They're like watering his shit down.
Yeah, you're like it's like you're sitting at a table and someone's giving you a flat Coca-Cola, and then I come up later and I'm like, do you want this real Coca-Cola now that you've drinking the entire flat one? You're like, I don't want anything.
That's a good. I
don't want any. I want to leave.
You got excited about that Coca-Cola.
I like that because I hate flat Coca-Cola, baby.
You're like, I guess I'll drink this, and then so he found that women comedians don't do that bullshit style.
Right.
Like a lot of women comedians don't do like, I'm saying the worst thing to make you mad. There's some comedians who are women who do that, but most of them don't. And he realized that, and he only lets women open.
Yeah, I know he had Jesse.
He had Jesse Johnson. He had Kelly Ryan, Laura Peak, and they're funny.
Yeah.
So these women get exposed to a massive audience that definitely hits his crowd sensibilities, And also, like, if they don't hit that sensibility, they're so unique that you're like, this is an amazing show. Like Jesse Johnson.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite comedians in the entire world. She started here in Phoenix. I'd say she's the only female Norm Macdonald I've ever seen in my life because all of her jokes are a waste of your time, just like Norm's are. Like, I'm wasting your time with these jokes. Isn't this great that we're here wasting time?
I've never seen her stand up.
Dude, she's one of the funny. She'll take a trumpet on stage and she'll like play trumpet songs and do crowd work with the trumpet, and you're like, this is just fun.
Yeah.
You're like, this is just fun, dude.
She has been such a great addition to the Bad Friends podcast. It's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Once they brought her in, I was like, who, like, you never know with the podcast, especially if you like it. It's like two friends talking, and then they have somebody else just trying to punch in, and you're like, are they gonna be funny or whatever? But she is like kills every time.
Because she always has the craziest thing to say to whatever you're talking about. Like when we used to do shows out here, we used to do literally the worst show ever. There's a show we did for like 5 years, and it was like a fake SNL. We would have stand-up comedians come on. They would do spots, and then we would have like this running sketch that went through the whole show, and it had like a story behind it. It was really dumb. We had a live band. It was very stupid and a lot of fun. And Jesse Johnson was part of that. And all of her characters were very funny. But on top of that, when you were like sitting in these writing rooms with her, because we would meet every week to write this show, you sit in these writing rooms, you go hang out, and you're having dinners and lunch. You realize like every time she has something to say, everyone has to stop and realize that we're all stupid. That's the one thing. Like, you'll be talking, and then Jesse will say something. You're like, God, we are some of the dumbest people on earth. And Jesse's the funniest, and she's the only one who's seeing what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So to have that addition of Bad Friends, I'm sure it just stops Bobby and Santino just writing their tracks, and they're just like, God.
And it's cool to see her get brought up because like they brought her in, she starts making more money, she starts getting all these other opportunities. I mean, she was in the Kill Tony band for a long time.
She lives by herself in LA. That's how much money she makes.
I know.
That's crazy.
Before she was like sharing an apartment with like 5 comedians. And
she was
she
in a
like
flop
talks
house.
about, she was just like, and it's really cool. I love seeing like, that's why I like the Kill Tony stuff, and like, you know, watching podcasts and having these newer artists, and you see their lives slowly change. And just being in a band and like going, you know, just through a lot of different stages, like, you know, you kind of understand how exciting that is for them. And even and obviously theirs go way beyond what we ever experienced, but you know that feeling of like, oh, this is fucking happening.
Yeah, and it comes with this new set of stressful things you have to deal with that you didn't think of. Yeah. And I feel like you have at least Jesse and Chappelle Lacey too. You know, he was one who started here. They have this deep appreciation for what's happening to them. They knew how hard it was to get here, so they learned how to manage these stressors. But they'll be open to talking to you about them. You know, there's stressors when on the road. That's just like. But I don't want to complain because this is a dream that I'm doing this. But it's like,
hard.
This is really fucking hard, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like Instagram influencers and people that make YouTube videos like nonstop and they make a living off of it. Like, you can make fun of them all you want. That
They're
shit
working
is hard work.
It's demanding work. It's hard.
It is hard. It sucks, dude. It's Trevor Wallace, a comedian that started in stand-up, and then he started making videos. And
did he start in stand-up first?
He was a stand-up comedian first. Damn. He did stand-up, then he started doing videos. Like, Trevor Wallace, we met him just before he really blew up. He came down here and did a wine bar in downtown Phoenix at Genuine, Arizona.
Shit.
He messages us. He's like, can I jump on your show? Because he's a stand-up. He wants to do stage time. And people are watching Trevor Wallace. Like, it's like 20 people in this little wine bar watching Trevor Wallace. And he's like one of the biggest comedians in the world, you know? And he started doing videos. And even he's like, I want to not do videos anymore. Yeah. He's like, dude, I want to do something else. Like, this is so demanding.
That's something that's really fascinating about comedy to me, is that these, you know, you hear stories of like Chappelle walking into places like a wine bar and just doing a set. Because like they always want to work shit out. And like big artists never do that.
No.
Like once in a while you'll hear stories of like Tom York one time you know, sold out 100 cap room at South by Southwest just on the whim of a night.
He'd be on some artsy shit though.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You feel like he's doing it intentionally to get this buzz. Like, oh, Tom York is here. Yeah, like he's playing that out.
I think the more cross-eyed you are, the more eccentric you have to be.
If you can see your peripheral clear as day, then you can be Tom York.
I don't want to forget this. I'm kind of backing up a little bit, but you were talking about being in the writing room earlier, and I've always like, you know how people are so fascinated by like, oh, I wish I could like watch Michael Jackson's like studio sessions and be in the room when this band or artist is making like an album or whatever. I've always been so interested in what it's like to be in a writing room, because I've obviously never seen that process. But like, even when I watch like sketch comedy shows like I Think You Should Leave, like some of the jokes hit me so hard in a way that I'm imagining them laughing really hard in the writing room while they're coming up
While
with
they're
it.
filming it.
So like while I'm watching this show that I love and I think is really funny, the idea of them even like coming together and making that joke makes me laugh sometimes harder than the actual joke itself.
Well,
Do you know what I'm saying?
On top of that, like a lot of those jokes, they come out of something real that happened. So that you're also laughing at this stupid time you had with your friend.
Yeah.
And now you're making a video about it. Like, that's crazy. Imagine it was just some dumb thing, inside joke you guys have, and you finally realize how to make other people laugh with it.
Yeah.
And it's just so deeply funny to you guys.
And then you're sharing it with other people.
Now,
That's like a full circle thing.
Yeah, I've written this out to be a joke for you guys now, and now it's like it's so deeply hilarious. Like, good writing rooms are like that.
That's really interesting.
Good
That's
writing
like,
rooms are like that.
That's really interesting. It's almost like you're bringing this funny thing that happened back into reality for other people to enjoy because they couldn't be there when it happened.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, me and Michael Turner, we had this joke that we did between each other, and we finally made a video, and it looks like dog shit, right? Because it was on Facebook only. This is before Instagram was a video, dude. We put this sketch on Facebook, and it was this joke where we were both at a mic. We were at Monkey Pants in Tempe, Arizona.
Oh, we've been to Monkey Pants.
Oh, shit. We've been to Monkey Pants.
We've raged at Monkey Pants when we were younger.
Dude, Monkey Pants is a fun place to take your shirt off, dude.
Yeah. I've been there for the one in the morning and the one at night.
Yeah,
we one of our friends got kicked out at Monkey Pants during a chance. Did he get kicked out that night? He was heckling.
I've
He
been
was
kicked
drunk,
out.
yelling
I wasn't there for the
during a
comedy night.
stand-up. Yeah.
Dude, so they used to do stand-up show there, right? And we're there, we're just we're finding our jokes and shit, and I'm waiting for some food because I realized I was going up late. I realized I was going to go up last because I got there too late. So I'm like last on the show. And the room was rocking. It was a full room. This comedy night at Monkey Pants was kind of legendary on the scene. And I ordered some food, and it took forever to come. And I was like hungry. Now I'm worried that I won't get the food in time so that I can go to the next mic. And I'm like antsy, and Turner's sitting right next to me. And I'm thinking the waitress is bringing my food, and she walks past and puts this burger down at the table next to me. I was like, I ordered a burger. And I was like annoyed. I'm looking at the burger and Turner sitting there, and I was just like, I don't know why I said, but I was like, I gotta have that burger. And he's just like never let me forget it, right? He's just like, we would just say it all the time, like, I gotta have that burger, like this desperate energy, I gotta have that burger. And we were in the writing room, we're writing these we would have like video sketches and shows sometimes, right? And literally the worst show ever. And all of a sudden Turner and me were like, we should put the gotta have the burger sketch. And then we should write a sketch about the gotta have the burger. And it was just him sitting at a table and somebody put a burger on the table. And he was just like, he couldn't eat it for some reason. And he's just looking at the burger, and he's just like, God, I would really love a bite of that burger if you would let me. I would. And it's just this descent into madness. And it's just like that. It was 3 videos that played through the whole night, right? So the first one played, and it's this weird guy who wants to eat the burger. Second one, he's trying to talk to the crew, the film crew, like, who's in charge of the burger? I would love. I just say, I'm not yelling at you. I'm sorry. I just want to eat the burger. I don't know who to talk to about the burger. I would like to eat the burger. And then the third sketch that played at the end of the night. So now people understand this is a running gag. The third sketch, it comes on. He's not even in camera. He comes in shirtless, and he's like, who do I got to talk to about the burger? It's like, I want to fucking eat. I got to have that. And it cuts off, dude. When we were filming that, I had to leave the room. I was laughing so hard, dude. We were at somebody's apartment. I had to go downstairs because I was laughing so hard. I could see him doing it through the window.
Well, it's also funny because it stems from this dumbass moment that just gets drawn out for weeks and then filmed by people. Like,
it's a complete waste of someone's time that they even like you.
And the more it goes on, it's funnier.
Yeah, for listeners right now, like the fact that you sat here and listened to me retell this story. It's such a waste of your time. And it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
That is the funniest humor ever. I've completely wasted your time. And we got to watch a sellout room of 150 people watch the dumbest idea we've ever had. And that feels so good.
That's
like
awesome.
the characters, Tim Robinson.
Yes.
The gun one where he's goes in to get a gun for protection.
Have you seen that?
Have you seen that one?
Which season?
It's the character. It's called The Characters, and so it's before.
And it has like Kim Berlant.
Like every person gets like their own like episode to do like an hour. Of
I
sketches.
love those. I love those characters. What is the Lauren Lapkus has one? She's funny as fuck, dude.
I know what you mean those drawn out things where it's like there's no meaning to this. It's
no
just to waste
meaning.
your time, but it gets more and more ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's what Seinfeld was talking about when he was trying to describe the show. It was
It's
like
epic, dude.
people are trying to like explain to people like what it meant, and Seinfeld was trying to let you know this is a waste of everyone's time. That was the joy of it. Didn't we have so much fun wasting our time for all these years watching this?
Yeah.
Like that's the real core of humor. It's like we're just wasting each other's time before we die, and that's what's so funny about it. We could do anything here.
That's funny, dude. Dude, it's really funny.
Speaking of rough sets, Kramer, huh?
Only Michael Richardson, only much blacker. That's Kanye West verse.
Dude, there was like an old meme of like it was Jerry's like, what's going on in there, and he opens the door and it's like red and hazy, and they would put a different picture and he's like that, and the one I saw was Jerry, I'm about to go on for my set, and then the picture was just like a super baked out version of like the Comedy Store and him standing on stage, and you're just like
That's great. Those memes are still good.
Dude.
I still love those memes.
they're like, yeah, I know.
My favorite meme from Seinfeld meme I like is the person who painstakingly recreated Seinfeld's apartment in a 3D rendering just to show you that the hallway doesn't physically exist. It's like, which idiot wasted their time doing this?
Dude,
I love that shit. One of my favorite things is like when a person like tries to brag about their height, like a dude will brag about their height, and then like someone who's watching them in their videos will find things in their room and find the factory measurement and put 20 of them to accurately get their height. Like who's wasting
He's like, I'm
their time
6'2", they're like, you're 5'8" at most.
Because
This
the
is how big your
iPhone is like 8 inches, and we put this many iPhones because one of them's in your hand.
That's so funny.
It's so good. Dude, the internet is undefeated.
I love that.
There's been a lot about the wine called Josh, and they're like, motherfucker, who the fuck is Josh?
I've been
And
seeing that.
There's one
I've been
that's like,
seeing that.
last night we let the
terminally
Josh
online.
talk. It's like, it's too. It's
Andre,
fucking good.
when Andre and Josh get together, you drink the Andre champagne. Isn't it called Andre?
Andre, yeah. That's the fucking cheap shit, huh?
I keep Andre in my mouth.
Yeah. You gotta warm it up.
I'm gonna put Josh and Andre in my mouth this weekend. It's gonna be a real good time.
It's gonna be good.
A real good time.
Damn, dude. We gotta have you on more. This was really fun.
Yeah, man. You know where I'm at. I'm just around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know where to find you.
We know where to find you. Give people a shout where they can find your stuff.
Yeah.
Like your shows and social media and shit like that.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the desperate social media platforms we have to deal with. At the Anwar Newton, TheAnwarNewton.
We'll drop it on the screen right here.
Oh, it's got
Stevie
the
will drop it on the screen.
graphics. Them lower thirds.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, follow me. I'm doing more shit this year. I finally just accepted that I have to engage with social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's just make some stuff.
Yeah, let us know whenever you have your next show. We'll come out for sure.
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
Dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're funny as fuck, dude. Thanks for doing this.
What an honor.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me.